Hi, guys. So, I want to talk about something for a minute. So, last week I talked about, how you are somebody, like you do matter, and all of the lies that the enemy tries to put on us about who we are. But now I kind of want to flip it a little bit, and I want to talk to you. And I don't want to give you like a whole list of scriptures, and I don't want to have like all of this eloquent speech and this frou-frou way of talking to you about it. I just want to be real and honest. And um it might not be all positive that I get back from it, and that's okay. But this is something that I think that we all kind of can take something from. And I think that if everybody takes um these words seriously, that you can get something from, like, anyone can get something from it, everyone can, in one way or another. But I think that so many times in our society, just like we were talking about last week, how um there's so many like Instagram posts and Pinterest ideas and all of these things that make us feel less than, and we don't understand that we are special and we are someone, and that we have a niche, we have a niche, something to give to the world. Like, we have um something to put in. We're valuable as us, just as me, as who I am, as what I can uniquely bring to the table. I am somebody, and that's kind of what we talked about last week. But also, just like those Instagram posts and those things can make us feel less than, I feel like there's also this stigma of self-care and um, self-help and self-motivation, and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and self-meditation, and I need some self-care, I need some self-help, I need some me time, I need a lazy day, I need this for myself, and I need a few moments to be me. And I'm not saying that that's not important, because I understand that that is very important to your mental health, especially as a mom, especially as, someone who works full time, especially as a human being, really, in this day and age. I do understand that self care is important. And I also understand that a lot of times, especially as women and especially as moms, since that's sometimes my target audience, but especially as that, sometimes we forget about ourselves and we sacrifice for everyone else, and we don't pay attention to ourselves, and that's not healthy. I do understand that, and I do understand the need for self care. But I think that we're so self-driven sometimes, and it's about, I need me, I need to get mine, and I need me some time too, and I need this for myself, and I need to do this for me, and I need that. Sometimes I think that we lose focus on a community centered lifestyle, and that's what it was supposed to be all about. I mean, if you go back to the Bible times, there's a reason why cliches like "it takes a village" and to raise a family and all of those kinds of things, there's a reason that those cliches exist, and it's because it's truth, right? I mean, in those times, and in a lot of places in the world today, it's in a lot of other areas, not in our area, but in a lot of other places in the world today, it's still that way, where you have generations that raise a family, you have generations that live together in one community, you have generations that help each other raise children, that it's not just the mother who has all of these kids, right? It's the mom and the grandmother and the great grandmother and how many ever generations back, and they're all helping to raise the same children, and they have a hand in all of the work, and that's just the way that it is. um and they all help with each other's kids, and you help take care of them, share the workload, and do what needs to be done. And I think that because we don't have that in our culture, in our society anymore, so often we get sucked into this self way of thinking, and it's all about me, or it's all about my family, or it's all about my household versus yours and versus theirs. And we don't think as a community driven, society. We're not community thinkers anymore. Um, and so I think that sometimes we think that we don't need each other. I think that we just think that all I need is me. You don't know me. Um, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know who I am. You don't know anything about me. And I think that because of that, we don't put ourselves in each other's shoes. We don't open up to each other. And I'm so guilty of this, so I'm preaching to my own self, but I know that this is true in my life, and this is something that I really need to work to change. I'm a very closed off person. I am not, because I'm open and I'll tell you anything about my entire life. I'm very transparent. I'm very real. I'm very genuine. It is one of the qualities that I pride myself in because I am nothing if not genuine. I'm going to tell you exactly like it is. I'm not going to apologize for it, but I will tell you the truth, and that's just how it is. Like I don't mind telling the truth about myself, whether it's good, bad, positive, or negative. I don't mind being honest. I just think that that's the only way to live, and it's the only way to be. This is me. What you see is what you get. This is me every single day, day in and day out. No matter who you are or where I meet you in life, I'm me, and that's the end of it. Whether I'm like that on this screen or you meet me face to face, whether I'm in the supermarket or church, I'm the same person. And I think that that's very, very important. But I'm also closed off in that I don't trust people. I don't let people in that inner circle. I don't even have an inner circle. I've had friends that I got close to in the past, and it's bit me in the butt every single time. I have been hurt every time I really get close to somebody and really let them in and let them know these details about myself and the way that I really feel about things. It always has bitten me in the butt every single time. It's always been something. They've stabbed me in the back every single time. And so because of that, I just tell myself I don't need community. I don't need that fellowship. I don't need other people. And that's just not true. The Bible says that no man is an island for a reason. He says this for a reason. We weren't meant to be alone. That's why God made Eve for Adam, so he wasn't by himself. Like, it's just, we were made for community and for fellowship and for loving one another, and we need that. So if you try to isolate yourself, don't. It's not good for you. And I think that so often we get into this like self way of life, and I think that we don't realize that that's not giving back to other people, and it's not just look at it like a circle, okay? So if you're all about self, and it's about self-help and self-motivation and self-love and self-care and all of these self things, who is that helping? Well, it's helping you, right? I mean, if you want to push the envelope further, you could say it's helping your family, right? Because me taking care of me helps my mental and emotional health so that I can better take care of my children and better take care of my husband. And this is so true. But who's that helping? That's helping your immediate family, right? It's helping you. But if you were to pour into someone else, pouring into someone else doesn't just help you. It's not that closed circle. It's a much broader circle, right? It circles back to that person can help their family. But when you help someone else, that also helps your mental health. It also helps you. Doesn't that make you feel good when you're pouring into someone else, when you are giving back to someone else? That helps you as well. So it helps you which in turn helps you be better to your family, and it helps that person be better to their family. And then if they pour into someone else, it helps it. You see what I mean? It makes a lot broader of a circle than if you're so focused on self, it only helps you. It never helps anyone else. But if you're pouring into someone else, and they're pouring into someone else, and they're pouring into someone else, and they're pouring into someone else, then someone else can pour into you. And the more someone else pours into you, the more you can pour into someone else. You see what I mean? So if we just get out of this self mindset, and we're so consumed with self, if we can get out of that and start to pour into other people, and then they start to pour into other people, and they start to pour into other people, and they start to pour into other people, then eventually someone will pour back into us. And I was talking about this to my mom, and we were talking about the ladies in our church, and whatever. We have some great ladies in our church and some sweet ladies in our church, but a lot of women, I'll just say this, a lot of women, and I'm trying not to make too much of generalizations, but this is really statistically true, especially my age group and the age group right below me. So, millennials. I am considered a millennial. I'm on the cusp of not being a millennial, but I am considered a millennial. So, millennials, we're having a lot of hard time with like people participating and people wanting to volunteer and people wanting to do things. And we really have a hard time with people with my age group and below doing this. And, we have women who are above my generation, and they've been doing and doing and doing and doing and doing and volunteering their time and doing and cooking in the kitchens and doing and bringing and volunteering and putting in effort and putting in work and doing all of these things. Well, they're tired and they're ready for a rest, but nobody's there to pick up the torch, right? Nobody's there to say, okay, I'm going to take over the baton and give you a rest, and I'm going to do and do and do and do and do and do, and then somebody will pick the baton up for me and they'll do. But nobody wants to do it. And it's like you have these people who are burnt out and they're sick and tired of doing it because they've been doing it for so many years, and nobody's taking the baton. And I feel like that's why. It's because we're so consumed with this. Yes, you're coming in here and peeking on in, and now you're in the video. But nobody wants to take the baton from those people, and they're ready to give it up, but nobody wants to take it. And I just think that is because we're so consumed with this self mentality. And I think that it's just a dangerous mindset to be in, because you're wanting to pour. Everybody's like, oh, you do you, just pour into yourself, you have to give back to yourself. And it's true, it's totally true. Like, the more you give out, you've got to pour back in, right? Or you're just empty and you have nothing left. So that is so important. And I'm not taking away from the importance of that, because it truly is important to do. And that's something that I have to tell myself too, because I'm really bad at it. I'm totally bad with like self-care and pouring back into myself. I'm terrible at it. But with that same token, you can't just be consumed with yourself and what's immediately around you. You have to learn how to pour out into other people, into other relationships, into other things. You have to be willing to give your time and, things that are valuable to you, the work. You've got to be able to work and be able to willing to put in the work. It's not just about, and I say this about church because that was just the example that we were talking about, volunteering at church and doing things for church and all of that. Like, it's not just about you coming, sitting in a pew, hearing the sermon, and then going home. There's a lot of things to running a church that takes time and energy and volunteer work and love and ministry and doing. You have to be a doer, and that's a whole other topic in and of itself. But I feel like you have to be willing to pour into other people so that they can pour into other people and other people and other people, and we can grow this circle from being such a small circle just to a bigger and bigger circle. That's when we're going to start seeing community. That's when we're going to start seeing us being able to lift each other up and encourage each other, because we're pouring into others. So I've poured into you so I can see when you're hurting, or I can see when there's something going on with you and you need that extra. You know what I mean? You need me to pour a little extra inside of you. You need me to do this for you. And someone else is going to do that for us. And I don't think that we understand that. I think that everything is so, well, I'm just looking out for me and mine, or it's all about self-care, and it's all about self this and self that. And we get so consumed with that that I'm just worried. I worry for the future of things. I worry for the future of churches. I worry for the future of ministries. I worry for the future of just basics, women helping women in general. Because we're so focused on ourselves that we forget that no man is an island. We're a community, and we seek other people. I mean, that's just the way it is. You seek relationships. You seek that. You have that. If that's missing in your life, it's a hole there. And so, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that topic up to you and let you think on that for a little bit. Um, because yes, self-care and self-help and self-motivation, it's all very important stuff. But if you're not pouring into anybody else and all you're pouring into is you and what's inside of these four walls, it's not enough, and you need to be pouring into somebody else. um, if I can pour into you today, then let me know. I will leave my email in the description box below, or you can definitely leave a comment as well. um, but that's what I want this YouTube channel to be. That's what I want both of my channels to be about. I want it to be about pouring into other people and a sense of community, so that, you know what, if there's something you're struggling with, you can say it down below, and you have women that will pray for you. You have women that will give you encouraging words. You have women that will comment on your comment and say, you know what, I'm here for you too. And that's what I want this to be. I want this to be a place of encouragement. And I hope that it's that for you today. So just think about those things. And next time you're scrolling through Instagram, what can you do to be an encouragement today? What can you walk out of your house and do to be an encouragement for other people, to where everything is not so self-centered, but it's just about people as a whole. And that's what I want my mind to be like. I want my mind to be, what can I do to help somebody else today? So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you are enjoying these videos. I am recovered from the flu, so I will be back on track with videos this week. I'm vlogging some today, and I feel like myself again. So thank you so much for being patient with me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.